In this video, I'm going to provide insights into the Eddie and Hafthor Bjornsson boxing match, as well as giving my prediction on the winner of the fight. Make sure you comment below who you think is going to win. So Hafthor Bjornsson just successfully lifted a 501 kilogram deadlift, beating Eddie Hall's record of 500 kilos. Almost immediately after, Eddie released a video congratulating Thor, but also challenging him to a boxing match, something that has been in the pipeline for quite a long time. Now, as I understand it, Eddie and Thor used to be relatively friendly as competitors of the World's Strongest Man. However, when Eddie beat Thor in the 2017 World's Strongest Man, apparently afterwards, Thor accused him of cheating. He's never apologised or retracted his statement, and this seems to be where the disagreement originated.
You get to go up against the guy that bested you at World's Strongest Man 2017, the man you called a cheat, and it all ends in the ring. And that's where I'm going to teach you a fucking lesson.
Both athletes have now signed contracts with Core Sports for what I understand is a 7-figure paycheck for both of them. There is no date confirmed for the fight yet, but it's most likely to take place in 2021. Now, just because you're super strong doesn't necessarily mean that you can fight. However, there are videos of both athletes boxing in the past. Eddie perhaps has the most experience from what I've seen. In 2012, he took part in a charity boxing match, which was 3 2-minute rounds. Now, there were a few things that stood out to me in that event. The first was that Eddie is actually surprisingly nimble and agile for someone of his size. Additionally, if anyone has ever fought or sparred before, you know how even the fittest individuals will find it very physically taxing, which is why you may have heard the expression, the difference between being fit and fighting fit. Although Eddie was clearly gassing out towards the end of the fight, I thought he did very well, which would be encouraging with the right preparation. Next, his technique was very rough and ready, and he was relying on his raw power to get him through the fight. And finally, he was relatively easy to hit. In particular, his head movement was probably his weakest defensive weakness. However, since that fight, there have been lots of other videos of him training in boxing, including recent footage of him training with fellow Stokey and ex-professional boxing champion Scott Lawton. Eddie has already slimmed down quite a lot from his World's Strongest Man physique, and I expect he will slim down much more so he's not carrying so much weight around on fight night.
I'm well aware I've got a bit round here, but it is absolutely solid, proper power belly.
In contrast, looking at Thor, he is currently absolutely huge after just pulling the 501 kilogram deadlift. So no doubt he will use a long prep time to also reduce his weight quite considerably. From a fight experience perspective, there was the viral footage of him sparring with Conor McGregor a few years ago, which, while cool as a publicity stunt, doesn't really tell us anything about his fighting skills. There is some quite old footage of him sparring, however, which does provide some interesting insights. Again, I was surprised by the agility of someone so large and his overall fitness. He was very aggressive coming forwards, but like Eddie, very reliant on raw power and strength over technique. Defensively, again, he lacked a lot of head movement, so was hit a lot, and even started looking away to avoid punches and using his size to hold his opponent at arm's length. But apparently he has taken the fight extremely seriously and started training for the fight the day after breaking the deadlift world record.
I'm ready. Are you ready, Eddie?
I'm not sure how authentic the beef is between Eddie and Thor, but kudos for generating the interest and getting a big money event. In terms of my prediction for who I think will win, these are the factors that I think will have the biggest impact. Number one is the size difference. Thor is literally a man mountain and has a huge height, weight and reach advantage over Eddie. Overall weight could also be a disadvantage if the fight goes on for a long time. Number two is conditioning. Most people are expecting them to both gas out fairly early, so whoever has the best conditioning to fight through the whole fight will have a big advantage. Number three is defense. Most people can get in a ring and throw a punch, but defense and head movement are much harder skills to learn. Being able to hit and not get hit is even more important when dealing with two powerhouses like Eddie and Thor. Number four is technique. Technique is important not just for the delivery of power and landing your shots, but also for energy conservation. Throwing arm punches and relying on power alone can be really draining on your reserves. And number five is fight duration. These guys will likely fight best in short, explosive bursts. The longer the fight goes on, the harder it will be for both of them. The length of the rounds and the total number of rounds in the fight will make a massive difference to their approach. I think the worst case scenario for this fight is that they both go out trying to knock each other's heads off, gas out quickly, and end up largely inactive after the first round, ending up in a bit of a dull affair. The best case scenario will be a stoppage by the referee. The kind of clubbing shots I'm expecting to see from them are far less likely to result in someone being knocked out cold. Generally, those types of KO come from clean, accurate shots landing via counter shot or great technique. Of course, either one has the power to land a one-punch KO, I just think it's unlikely to happen. I think the person who is most likely to win is whoever has the best strategy that they can stick to. If they come out guns blazing in the first round and don't get the KO, they're going to be gassed out for the rest of the fight. If they have an intelligent game plan that they can stick to on the night, they're more likely to come out on top. Despite the size difference, I currently favour Eddie to win. My opinion may change as we get closer to the event, but from the information I have and what I've seen so far, I think Eddie edges it in my opinion. Let me know in the comments below, who do you think will win and how?